Hey there, guys. Well, today we got this Ford Escape. It has pretty much a multitude of problems with it, and we're going to try to correct some of them, see what we can do, and see what it's going to cost to correct the rest of them. So stay tuned. There's lots of interesting stuff coming at Double Trouble Garage. Alright guys, I'm going to give you a little walk around. This is just the way I received this car. It's a 2019 Ford Escape. And the body looks pretty decent. I don't see any, big dents or big rust spots. I guess there is one dent up there. But it looks pretty good. Looks, oh yeah, birds have had a bunch of target practice done on it. But its main problem, it's running right now, and I'm not sure where the exhaust comes out at. Oh, it's right here. See if we can hear that exhaust. It's got a little bit of a miss to it. It's not running right, and it's got a lot of dash lights on. I think it's got like almost all of them on, so we need to find out why them are there. But nothing works on the dash here. The radio, air condition, all that stuff doesn't work. This, from what I understand, it's an elderly lady. She leaves this car set most of the time, and the sunroof has been leaking, and she said everything worked until the sunroof started leaking. So possibly the humidity has gotten in here. The fuse panel's not there. There's some stuff in there. It looks a little rusty, so it has gotten the humidity in there. See all the rust in there? Yeah, it's gotten a lot of humidity in this thing. I'm not gonna try to put that on right now. I may need that off again later. But there's some mold that's got in here, so it's on the headrest too. So there's that. I guess the first thing is the drivability issue, and don't know what's causing that, but I have a kind of a code reader. Let's see if I can do this here with one hand. There we go. I'm gonna get my code reader. We'll see if it'll work. It works on Wi-Fi, and I don't get Wi-Fi real good out here, but I'm gonna plug it in and cross my fingers and hope for the best. And maybe that'll tell me why it's running a little bit rough. So let's start with that. Well, see, here's what I use is a T-Mobile sync up drive, and I got this years ago. Let's find out where the port is at. And yeah, where's it at? All right, well, I'm gonna have to get my head up underneath there to find out, or maybe okay, there it is, right there. Okay. Okay. Get this thing plugged in. Now when both green lights come on, that red is no good. When I got two green lights, it'll send a signal out. So I might have to drive this thing up the road a little bit until I get a signal, and then we will fire this video back up. Well, before I leave, guys, I'm gonna put some of this Berryman's B12. Give it a B12 shot. All right, this one here requires an opening here. Let's see if I can get this in. What? I need 4 hands and a funnel? What do I need? All right. Well, it took it. Well, it's saying it's got less than half a tank of gas, so we should be good on the Berryman there, because that would have treated a whole tank full of gas. So let's go up the road here, and we will see if that light turns green. That's what we're looking for. Can't really tell. It don't look red anymore. It looks green. Yeah, it's green. Okay. Well, we'll let that sit there and go ahead and download whatever it needs to do. All right, guys, we're back. Let me go ahead and shut this video off so I can read whatever kind of code I was sent. All right, guys. Well, here's what the code reader said. I'll try to put some captions up here for you and let you see them, you know, in real time what I saw. But here's what I wrote down on my dry erase board. Okay, what we have here is a 2009 Escape. All right, first one is system to lean, and that can be intake leak or the sensor. I'm probably leaning towards the sensor because I don't really hear any intake leak. This thing is, other than running rough, it's pretty quiet. I don't hear any sucking air or anything, but I'll test that. Number P0304 is a number 4 Missfire, which is what I was thinking. It says a spark plug or a coil, so I can always pop that plug out and see if it's clean, but it's probably the coil pack, and I will go ahead and get that priced out. The P0400 is exhaust gas, which I think is related to it running too rich. So of course it's going to throw that code. So that's what I'm looking at right here for the engine. Well, guys, it looks like the spark plugs are right up here in front. They're right underneath the coil pack. So it doesn't look like they're going to be an issue to get to. Let's take this air breather off. Air cover. Air breather cover. Wow. It looks a little smashed there. You know, I've seen this before with fuel filters. I don't know if I've seen it so much with an air filter, but you see how that's sucked in there? That normally happens with diesel fuel filters whenever they start getting plugged up. I've seen them collapse on themselves. I don't know if that's the case here, unless a lot of people have had their hands on this thing and really been abusive on the air filter. I'm going to say this thing needs a new air filter. I'm not really happy with that. So we'll get that changed. The air box doesn't look too dirty, even though I'm noticing that seal. See, it's supposed to seal around the top here, around this perimeter, and that seal is gone. There's two little pieces left that aren't doing diddly. Matter of fact, they're probably just holding these two areas open and making more of a gap for this here. I'll see if I can get a seal for that and put that back on here, because this is no good at all. See, it was just double stick taped in there. I mean, it's really not going to hurt anything, but what it'll do is it'll force more suction from the front here, which is more cold air, instead of letting it suck in the hot air that's in the engine compartment. So anyway, now we need to figure out how this air box is mounted in here and take it off. It's probably just, let's see here. Yeah, I think it's just mounted with this here, but I need to make sure before I go prying on anything. Yeah, there's just some rubber caps in there that hold that part on. So I'll just pull up on that part. This clamp here is going to be holding it. So if I take these little plastic rivets out, this will come off really easy, and then I'll loosen that up. So let me get a screwdriver. All right, these little rivets here, they should come right up and out. You know, there's probably some technical name for these, but I call them plastic rivets. Where can I put these where I ain't gonna lose them? Oh, I'll set this over here. There we go. All right. So that's, oh look, that come right off anyway. That's okay. Now let's get this boot loosened up. Oh, that was already loose. You know, that could have been where it was sucking some air from. Didn't one of these say intake leak? Looky right there. Intake leak. Well, this loose clamp right here could have caused that. Here. I'm gonna have to push that in. Oh, no, it should have been out, shouldn't it? Yeah. Somebody's had this off before because they had that out already. In is locked, out is unlocked. So somebody's had this. Somebody's been in here before. All right. So the air box is free. It's free. Set that up there. All right. So all that's out of the way. All right, we're down to the spark plugs, and we kind of lucked out in this one because you know, this is a 3.0 V6. So the way this is set up is the firing order is 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, and 3 are covered up by the intake, and I really don't want to be taking that intake off, but we don't have to. So this is number 4. It's right here. It's easy to get to. What is this down here? It's another kind of whatever you want to call that thing. The thing you push in, it holds stuff. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and take that spark plug out, and let's see if it's clean. Well, I got my wrenches there, guys. It appears this takes a number 8 or a turquoise socket. Anyway, I'm going to put this all together. See, that fits right on there. And okay, you know, I may not have to unplug this, so I'm not going to unplug it, because sometimes these plug-ins that are over here next to the exhaust and the heat and all that, they get really brittle. So see if I can just, nah, I can't pull it out, so I'm going to have to take this off. But that's going to require 2 hands or 2 tools, because what I normally do, guys, is I'll push this in with my thumb, and then I put the screwdriver in there and I kind of twist it a little bit. It pushes it right off. All right, well, that worked like a champ. We'll tuck that over there out of the way. Pull this off. See a little corrosion in there. Isn't that corrosion? Looks like it to me. But the metal in there looks good. Well, we'll get this spark plug out of here and see what it looks like. But I think this right here is the culprit. Well, guys, this is going to take a 5/8 socket, and I got a long extension here. I would say this is like a foot, 12-inch. We're going to get this sucker out of here. This is definitely going to take 2 hands, or I'm going to break the plug. I need to keep this thing straight. So let me lay this camera down. I broke it loose real easy there. Looking in there, it looks like the valve cover's leaking a little bit, leaking down on the plug. That ain't gonna hurt to have a little bit of oil in the cylinder. All right, guys, I got a little black tape and put on here. I got a really long piece. I tucked it inside the socket. So once I get this on the spark plug, should be tight enough to pull it on out of here. Well, I got it halfway. Might have to go with another piece of tape there, guys. Make it a little bit thicker. All right, there's what I got now. Got another piece of tape, doubled it up. I made it longer there, guys, and taped it to the extension so it doesn't wind up in the cylinder. I think we got it good now. All right, there we go. Well, That spark plug does not really look bad. It's got some oil on it from the oil that was leaking down in there from the valve cover, but I don't believe it's bad. The gap is pretty big though, I will tell you that. Well, let's see what the gap is supposed to be on these, and then we'll clean it up anyway and re-gap it and see what it's doing. Well guys, once I got my spectacles on, I started looking at this thing. If you look at it, come on, come in the focus. There we go. If you look at it real close, there is a lot of carbon on that, and the electrode is melted down pretty good. So we're going to clean this thing up and re-gap it. Well, I already said I was going to re-gap it, but we're going to clean it up and see if we can maybe that's what's causing the code. We'll see. Well, I'm on my box fan workbench here, and I got some brake cleaner. We're going to douse it down. We're going to get this wire brush here. And we're going well, I'm going to get my glasses back on and look at this, but that looks clean enough where it matters. Now we need to gap it. Well guys, the book is telling me, well, Google is telling me spark plug gap is 0.030. Well, got a little bit of a dilemma here because, you know, I'm old school and I don't have a 030. The biggest my gauges go to, I don't know if you can see it, is 0.027. So that's only a little bit off. So if I leave it a little bit sloppy, I think I'll be good. But look at this. Look at this gap on this thing. And look at the feeler gauge. Look at that. That's like, look how far I can move it up and down. That's like double. So let me bend this little electrode on down, and I'm going to get it where I can easily slip this through here with a little hair bit of a gap, and then we should be good. Well guys, I got it to where I can slip my feeler gauge through there with little to no resistance, but I can't really feel a lot of play up and down. So I think that's gonna be good right there. We're gonna slap that in and see if it runs any better. Well, I got it cleaned out pretty good, guys. I don't know why. I got it cleaned out better on the inside than I did right around the rim on the outside, but it's pretty decent. And I don't know why it's corroded there anyway, because the electrode is further on down in there. I don't really understand it. But I'm going to put this boot grease on here, and that'll keep any corrosion down, I'm telling you. We'll just shove this right on here. Boy, 2 hands always help, guys. We'll just snug this down just about, click, that much. All right, let's get this. Oh, we need some boot grease on that too. There, just spread it across the top and then mash it right on in there. Keeps all the moisture out, guys. All right, now we can put this back together and see how she does. Well, I was just thinking, no sense putting all this back together, because if this doesn't work, then I'm going to be pulling that coil pack off and replacing it. So I think I'll just start it up and try it. I went ahead and plugged in the mass airflow sensor. I went ahead and put some boot grease in that too, on that plug, you know, just in case it stays like that. I already got the fuse panel off, because that's going to be, you know, the next project, seeing if any fuses are blown for the radio and air conditioning and all that. But anyhow, let's see how it runs. That's what everybody's waiting for. I know that's what I'm waiting for. I think all that'll stay up there pretty good. I started rolling down my windows there because been locked out of cars before, so I rolled down the window to make sure I can still get in if the door's locked. Man, come on. Why is there so much problem here? There we go. Okay. Yep, I can tell you right now, I'll still hear a miss. Nope. No bueno, as they say. Yeah, so that coil pack's going to be the culprit right there. I got it kind of wiped off. You know what? Was it that clean before, or did I do all that wiping off? Has somebody already replaced on this? Nah, I must have done that. Must have done that when I took it off. Well, let me go look up on the old intranet and see how much one of them even is. Well, guys, I ordered that ignition coil. Got it coming on the old Amazonian trail, and they're delivering it. I paid for the faster shipping so I can get this here done and taken care of, so it's only a couple bucks, but it'll be here tomorrow by 8 a.m. so that should be good. I'll go get it and put it on. When I pull that out, I can't forget to correct a mistake that I made right here, the spark plug gap. I got that wrong. It's 048. That's the spark plug gap, not 030. So I was wrong, because I was looking back on my search, and I searched for a 2019, not a 2009 Escape. So that's what made it different. So it's 048, and I ordered me a new feeler gauge set, but I found my old spark plug gapping tool, so I should be good either way. But I need to re-gap that, and I guess it was closer. Let's see, 48. I set it at 30. 30 was about double, so it was still gapped. It was still gapped too big, but I need to open it up just a little bit when I put that new coil pack on there. No biggie. I'm going to leave the tools all out here. Well, not here, but I'm going to leave the tools out where I can jump to it. But today is not over. You see, the shadows are getting long. Shadows are getting long, like John Wayne used to say. But I wanna see if I can get a little bit further, because I haven't licked this yet. Haven't got it, dialed in. I wanted to have the engine running good, and then jump over to this part. But I was looking, and that one fuse there, that 15 amp, looks a little bit dark to me. I put on my heavy duty spectacles, and I was looking at all these different fuses, and they all look good, but that one right there looks suspect. So I'm going to pull it out right now, and we're going to see. Let's bring it over here, because I'm going to drop it anyway, not be able to find it. And I'm going to put on my glasses and see if I can. I see a black dot. I bet you it's blown. No. Looks like just a scratch on there, guys. You see, it's not blown. Oh well. Shot in the dark. So we'll put this back in here. Come on. There. Normally when they're blown, they'll have a black mark on them. And I don't see any black marks on these. That tall. Let's see. You see how there's metal on one side of this one right here? See how there's metal on that side and there's no metal on that side? The fuse don't belong in there. That's an option that this vehicle doesn't have. But sometimes people will pull a fuse out and not put it back. So you got to look for that too. You got to look for a missing fuse as well as blown fuses. And I don't see nothing. Now, these here are directional. They only give current one way. And we can test them out too to see if they're good. But I've never had one go bad yet. Well, here guys, I'm going to show you how you can test these out. Oh, there's motion. I have motion detected. Okay, you see this here? That's showing you the direction of current. Shows you the arrow. Shows you the arrow and the positive sign. At least that's what it looks like, a positive sign to me. So that's the direction of flow right here. So the power is coming from the left side and going to the right side, but it's blocked right here. See, there's a block across there, and going from the right side to the left side. So here, I'll prove it to you. So remember I told you guys about these DeWalt drills and how they're good for testing. Well, I got this connected to my test light on the ground side, and this is the hot lead. So if I can do this with one hand, I will. Let's see, let's do it this way. So see, that's a direction of flow. We're going from the left to the right. So if I connect this to here and I touch that probe over here to the right side, I'll get a positive. I'll get 12 volt. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, voila, I did it. There, see? We got 12 volt going through there in the direction of the arrow. But if I flip this, see, it's flipped now. Now that arrow is going to a dead end. So we're going to put the positive on this side. And right there, I don't know if you saw that, but if you look at it, I'm getting, well, stay for me. There we go. See? No power at all. Doesn't go through that way. So this is like a check valve. It's a check valve for 12 volt. And these are really valuable to me because if you have different circuits that you don't want to have power feedback to, you can use this right here. The other thing you want to make sure of here, guys, is that you put these in the right direction whenever you put them back. See, these are in the same direction they were before. The flow is the same direction. See how the arrow goes from the right to left? You want to put them back that way. Now, you can reverse these, and then something ain't going to work. So, just make a note before you take them out. Now sometimes these fuses can be deceiving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through here quickly and I'm going to test each one out. See? Power. Oh, you can't see it. Power. Power. Both sides have power, and that's what we want to look for. Power, power. So both of these diodes are good, and all the fuses are good. Okay, guys, we're on the passenger side. Oh, there's the other fuse panel that the direction said it was here. So somebody has been in here before. They got the fuse panel off already, which I don't like to see that. I like to be the first guy, not the second guy, but don't we all? Okay, we're just going to go through the gamut because you cannot, there's no way possible to check all these fuses. I can't see them. So we're going to test every one of them with a test light like we did the ones in the front. Now, we got the car running. Let's go ahead and start testing these out. Okay, looks like we're all good there, but I'm gonna pull this 20 amp out right there. I'm gonna clean it or look at it anyway. All right. That 20 amp runs the engine, so we know it's making contact. But look how corroded it looks there, guys. I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna clean that up anyway. See how corroded that looks? I mean, look at the film that's on that thing. Yeah, that's not good. I'm gonna clean that up. There, you see that? See how much better that looks? That's the way it's supposed to look. You know you're making a good, clean contact. Let's go plug this back in. Well, guys, I'm gonna try something else here. It's not too fun, It's not too pleasing at all. But putting my glasses on, what I'm going to do is, you saw how corroded that one fuse was, and I'm not really going to pull all these fuses out, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all these fuses and kind of work them in and out like that, kind of scratch the contacts, and chances are, I've had it happen before where fuses are not making good contact, and this works. So, you know, it's a long shot, but if a long shot works for you one time, you kind of want it to work again, you know? Alright guys, let's see if that made any doggone difference. Nope, not a thing. We got other issues at play here. Alright guys, well, I'm sitting in my easy chair here, and I found the owner's manual, and there is a lot of writing on just this subject. Look at this right here. I got need 10 amp, extra 5 amp radio, blower relay to make, take to match, 40 amp blower motor, cartridge fuse. Well, I don't know if I can make heads or tails out of all this. So, blower motor, 40 amp, take 40 amp, take 40 amp, cartridge fuse. Look at that puppy dog. Well guys, we're back at it. It's a brand new day. I kind of slept on this thing and thought about it. I think what we're going to do right now, I finally got my Amazon package in, and I got the coil pack, and we're going to get this thing running good, and then we'll dive back into the wiring issue problem thing. I have a few tricks up my sleeve, but we'll see how it all turns out. I think this thing here has some major wiring problems, but we'll see what we can do. Well, against what I said, I did leave all my tools out overnight. I just kind of gently shut the hood, and yeah, they were well protected. I put a rag in the old intake there where nothing crawled up inside there. So we're going to put that new coil pack in and pull that plug out, re-gap it, and then we're going to hear this thing run just like she's never run before, or like she run before but not running now. So we'll take this here off. Comes off nice and easy. Set that there off to the side, and we'll get the new coil pack and start the process. Well, here's the new one. Looks good. Looks like the same thing. So we'll get this one here. Oh yeah, this temperamental thing again. Yeah, look at that. Worked for me the first time. There's the old one. Kind of match them up together here. Oh yeah. Yep. It looks the same. All right. Gonna put some boot grease in there. Nice big glob of it. Oh, you know I didn't gap the plug. There we go, it's focused. I re-gapped it. What I used is my I got a spark plug gapping tool here. I couldn't find it yesterday. This is a Mac. I've had it for years. Yeah, I probably had this for 35 years, probably 40. Anyway, you just turn the little dial there, and what I did was I had a 46, I think it is. Yes, 46 that I gapped it to, and I made it a little bit sloppy because, as you see on the board over here, it needed 48. So see if I can show you. Here's the process here. See, it's a little bit sloppy. Move it up and down just a little bit. So we're almost on the money. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in. See all the boot grease I had put on there before. Nice clean plug still, and we'll get this thing running good. Well guys, I got the spark plug in there. I didn't film it. You've seen me do that before. I wiped off these other coil packs because, you know, this one here, the old one, had all this writing on it, and I was wondering why these didn't. So I'm thinking this one might have been changed before, or maybe these two were changed and that one was not changed. Don't really know, but I know this one here is going to match what's already in there. So I don't know what's going on here, but let's see. I'll go ahead and get this back on, and I'm anxious to hear this thing run nice. thing started good. All right. That's plugged in there real nice. All right, well, let's get this box back on here. One-handedly. Plug this in. I'll go ahead and drop the filter in. There we go. I didn't buy a new filter, guys. I forgot about that. Well, let's see how this thing starts up. All right. And this is a cold start too. Well, it sounds better. More responsive. Well, it sounds better. Let me roll this window down. Yeah, don't feel like it's missing anymore. Well, I think we got that part of it taken care of. The other major thing or main thing was the transmission leak. And I see somebody's done something on the pan down there. I see new gasket sealant. Yeah, we're gonna have to get this thing on the lift. See if we can find out where that transmission leak is coming from. Of course, I've been monkeying around with this wiring system here. You know, guys, I like wiring. I like delving into wiring and running new wires and hooking up accessories, and it's always been my thing. Over in the mechanic shop I used to work at, that all the electrical was always sent to me. So I like fooling with this kind of stuff. But we might have to put that on the back burner and get to the more pressing issue, which is the drivability. It can always be driven without a radio and air conditioning and all that. But you know, without a transmission, it's kind of hard. Well, guys, I got it all back together as far as the engine goes. I wanted to say something here before I put this cover back on. I had said something earlier on in the video that these could not be, or could be put in two different ways, and they can't be. That little groove on there prevents it from going the wrong direction, so you can only put them in one way. I always thought these could be turned, and I've always really paid attention when I pull them out before to test them, and I put them back in the same way, because I thought they were, you know, somebody could make a boo-boo. But anyway, they're idiot proof, so they're either going to go in or not go in. You have the other kind that have the the fittings in two different directions. One goes this way and one goes this way, and you can't put them in the wrong way. I know that, but these here I always thought you could, but I was wrong. So I wanted to correct myself. Believe me, I'll be corrected anyway. So let's put the cap on this. Let's do two things first. I'm gonna turn my air compressor on, let it build up some air pressure. I want to blow this out because whoever has worked on this before has left this open and got all kind of pollen and leaves and stuff in there. I want to blow all that stuff out before I put this cap on. We're gonna go ahead and blow this stuff out of here. All right, that's clean. Cover this sucker back up. There we go. Yeah, why don't we blow this stuff out? Oh, that's a lot better. Alright guys, well the battery terminal is back on. Let's get this thing started, and I'm not going to shut the hood all the way and get it in the shop. Ding ding ding. Okay, nice to see that engine light off. Tire pressure sensor is bad. It says that right on the column there. We're not going to be replacing that. The airbag is probably because there is no power to the radio and all. So that might be powering up the airbag too. Not really sure. The ABS could be involved in that. And of course I don't have my seatbelt on, and I'm not going to worry about that traction control thing. Wow, it's got a lot more pep now. Alright guys, well let's get this thing lifted up. Well, I like to go up a little bit higher, so I'm going to have to close the garage door. Since I closed the garage door, I went ahead and turned the air conditioner on. Guys, did you notice my Double Trouble garage shirt? Pretty cool, isn't it? You know what? if you subscribe to my channel and put a few watch hours in, I'm going to be able to sell these shirts, but I haven't got there yet. Well guys, we're in the underbelly now, and I don't know if you can see in the background there, but I got my jack stands, and I have some in the front too. I'll swing around here. See, I got two in the front. You know, people told me before, where's it gonna go? Oh, are you scared? Yeah, kinda. You know, all this stuff is man-made, and there's a margin of error in everything you do. So I just don't want to take any chances. They make these jack stands for a reason. They sell them right there at Harbor Freight, and you put jack stands underneath your car when you jack it up on the ground and you only got one side up. How much more do you want it to be supported when it's up in the air? So, you know, my lift's a little bit shorter, so I've had to cut these off a little bit to make them where they'll fit. But, you know, I like the extra protection. And when you ask me, where's it going to go? Down. That's where it's going to go. It ain't going to go up. It's going to go down. And if you're underneath it, that's not going to be a good day for you. Or maybe, if you're going to the right place, maybe it will be a good day. But I don't want it to be today. So here we go. We're going to start looking around. Underneath looks pretty good, as you would suspect. I did already see a transmission leak, pretty good one on the ground there, and it looks like I gotta go around these stands that somebody put up here. You see that red horse there? That's some good beer from the Philippines. See, but it's coming all down this. Here, let's get some light on the subject here. It's coming down this cross member. It's also dripping off the bottom of that pan. But I'm covering that up for you. Sorry about that. So it's dripping off this pan, which makes it look like it's coming from the pan. But if you look on up here, it looks wet all the way up top there. Is that a sensor up there I see? It's coming from somewhere further up, guys, and it's leaking on down. And it looks like it's that plug-in or sensor or whatever that is. I'm gonna see if I can get to it, or maybe get a more powerful light up there on it. I don't know if you can see it good, but leaks always come from their highest point. The highest point you can see any fluid, that's where the leak is coming from, because of, you know, gravity and that falling down thing we were talking about. Well guys, I cleaned this all off with brake cleaner, and there is nothing running down from the top. That dealio up there is probably leaking, but it looks like it's coming from the power steering pump, and that's not transmission fluid. But this here is dripping pretty steady, and I don't know if you can see, but somebody has gooped this all up. There's something on that nut. I can't tell what it is. JB Weld maybe, I don't know. And this transmission pan has been beat like I don't know, maybe somebody run up on a bumper stop. I don't know. But there's not, I don't think there's supposed to be a nut on this side of the bolt. I think that is, it could be wrong, but see, these here are just screws that go into the aluminum, and these here are bolts. So I'm not sure if somebody tried to, fix a problem, but it's definitely not fixed. And I don't know if to tighten that up and might make it worse. Maybe it's got loose, maybe it was working, I don't know, but we'll see. Fixed it. Well, not really, but it's not leaking no more. I just come back from getting me some lunch. My wife made some lunch. It looks a little tiny bit wet up there, but that could be residuals. I found out what happened here, guys. If you look up behind here, see if we can see it. I don't know if you can see it. Right up there next to the vice grips, there is a bolt sticking out. And if you look on this side, there is a hole right there almost underneath the vice grips. So there was a bolt somebody snapped off, and I think they probably drilled and put this other bolt in here to try to compensate. But you have, look how long a travel you have. If you can see, it's not really focusing. You got a long way to hoe, long row to hoe up there until your next bolt. You see how close these are together and how far that one is all the way up there. So that's what the problem is. So it is either drill out that bolt and try to get it out, put a new bolt in there. This one here, I tried to clamp all the way around it, and it didn't stop the leak at all. But as soon as I clamped right where it's at right now, the leak quit. So I tried different spots, but right there is the sweet spot. So I got to find out from the customer what he wants me to do, how he wants to proceed. This car has multiple problems. The struts are bad. I noticed that when I was driving it down the driveway. So it's going to need new struts on it. I mean, it could be driven without it, but it really does need new front struts. So it needs that. There is for sure an oil leak around the pan. Looks like it's around the pan. It could be coming from the valve covers. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's leaking around the pan. So not extremely terrible, but it is leaking. See, in the short time it's been here. So it needs a pan gasket. It needs two pan gaskets really. But I don't know if this one here has a gasket on it. So anyway, I might just leave this clamp on here until, well, I can't do that. Might hit the ground. I don't want it to leak all the transmission fluid out before I find out what the customer wants. But we'll see. Well, I thought I'd show you this, guys. I drilled this out a little bit. I just couldn't stand it. Had to do it. But you know, even with a right angle drill, this is coming at it at a angle. It's not going straight. So I went in as far as I could. Of course, it's still dripping transmission fluid all over me. But I was able to get a tiny pair of vice grips. Look at this thing. I got a tiny pair of vice grips. On the back of that bolt in the back, and that thing is loose. The bolt is actually loose, but there's no way to get. Look at that thing. It's like right there, but you got a cross member over here, and you can't get to it. I was able to get these tiny, and I mean, where are they? Come on. There. These little needle nose, really slim needle nose. Of course, they're electrician, whatever. But I was able to get them on it, and I can turn it every 3 times I try. I can turn it an immeasurable amount. I mean, not 1/8 of an inch, less than that. But it's a struggle, man. It's a struggle. I've tried everything. I pulled out so many different tools. You know, I have done stuff like this before, where I went in the socket and made a circle like that, and able to get the bolt turning and get the bolt out. That is not working. It's not doing nothing. I've gotten behind there, and then every 3 seconds, see, I got another drip. Dripping in my face, dripping on my shirt. It's a pain, guys. I'm still working at it. I've been working at it now for, I guess it's been a good hour, and it's coming along. I mean, I can see, look, I can see the bolt in there. It has backed up, but man, I can't get that thing to turn. I've tried this little tiny baby screwdriver, tried to wedge it in there and get it to turn it. Now I did get it to turn with this here, maybe 1/4 of a turn or so, but that was it. And I don't know. I'm gonna keep working at it. It ain't gonna lick me. I'm gonna get it. Guys, I'm just about to get it. I don't know if you can see it in there. I hope you can. But it's just about ready to come out. I've got it out far enough to where I got a pair of these medical instruments, and what I'm going to try now is I'm going to try to, I think it's loose enough to where I can go ahead and get the screwdriver in there and back it on out. I hope. Look at that. It fell out. Where'd it go? There it is. What a pain. That right there, guys, is like an hour and a half of my life. Now, I need to find another bolt like that, because I'd like to anyway. I don't know if you can see in there, but the threads are still good. Can you see it? Looks like the threads are still good in there. So I'm gonna try to I'm gonna make me a custom washer for this thing. I want one that kind of let me hang this light back up here. I'm gonna use my needle nose for a pointer here. I want to get a washer that kind of goes up that way a little bit, up this direction, and tries to, because that's where I had the pliers clamped, and they stopped that drip real good. So I'd like to go up that way, but let me see what I can do about a bolt first. Alright guys, I found a bolt that screws in there very nicely. I know it looks crooked right now, and it might be, but I had it in there pretty far with just finger tight. But what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna mark this. I'm gonna mark this here where I'm gonna cut it. I want to cut it right here. I'm gonna cut it here, and I'm gonna cut it here. Man, I don't know if this thing is even marking, but anyway, that's my plan. I don't need this big of a washer, but I want to try to capture that area up on top. I want to try to push that in as much as I can. So guys, there you go. Look at this. I'm so happy. This blessed thing has been dripping on me every minute for the past hour and 30 minutes at least. Feels like longer. But now I got that bolt in there. It's tightened up. Look at that. No drips. You know, I would have been happy if it just slowed it down. Really. But yeah, that's it. See, I left a little bit on that one corner here, not purposefully, but it wound up that way. So I was going to cut it off, and then I said, you know what, it'll just put more pressure in that top corner up there. You know, kind of the teeter-totter effect. So I left it there, and then I also thought, well, it's gonna push down more on this washer and try to crimp it down there too. So anyway, it wound up good. It's got a broader footprint, so it's putting pressure on the whole thing. I got a bolt that worked, that fit, more like the original that I would assume come in there. And look at that, all this talking I've done, no more drips. You see that, whatever that stuff is that guy put on there, epoxy, or I don't know what it was. He put RTV sealant and all kind of stuff, and the pan is all beat up and turned over. I don't know what that's all about, but hey, it's not leaking. It's not leaking. That's the main thing. So we got 2 accomplishments today. Transmission leak fixed, and the miss is fixed. Now guys, if you look at it, been another 30 minutes, still no drips. So I'm still super stoked about it. I want to thank you guys for watching. I got to get this video pushed out. You know, I got to keep up my analytics and keep everything flowing. So what we've got accomplished today, we got the coil pack replaced. We got the transmission leak fixed, and got the check engine light off. That was the main thing. So that means if the check engine light is off, then there's no code for anything for the, I think the one was the oxygen sensor, and the other one was the intake leak. So them don't exist anymore either, because the check engine light is totally off. It's not throwing the code for that. So I'm happy about that. We still have the electrical to do. So if you want to follow along with this, you can just tune in next week. We'll be working on that, and I'm sure we'll find a few other things on this beast to work on. I have it for another week or two, and then it's got to go back to the owner. So we'll see everything I can get done with it. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching Double Trouble Garage. God bless. Stay tuned for more upcoming adventures. See ya.